Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. The prime ministers of Latvia and Lithuania met in Riga on Thursday, pledging closer cooperation against what they describe as the weaponization of irregular migration from Belarus, Lithuania already sending border guards to support its neighbor. But the security picture is broader. Baltic authorities are confronting suspected sabotage against defense companies, while further south, Romania has destroyed an explosive-laden maritime drone near critical Black Sea energy infrastructure. And joining us now is Zīle, Vice President of the European Parliament and a member of the European Conservatives and Reformists Group. Good to have you with us. Thank you for joining.
Good morning.
So looking at the latest, this trip, it's symbolic, and you have the Prime Minister in Riga of Lithuania and Latvia, but both have agreed that there is a problem, this weaponization of irregular migration. How much of a problem is it, and are these countries doing enough?
Well, it's a big problem. Actually, this is also symbolic that it's for a new Lithuanian Prime Minister visit to Riga was the first abroad. And we are very happy with that because cooperation with Lithuanian border guards and also on the political level is always very good. And this time it's clear attention on this hybrid war situation in the borders between Belarus with Latvia and Lithuania and also Poland, as we know. So, currently on Latvian border, it's, how to say, main flow of those migrants who are trying to use even underground channels, digging those holes. And this was a new situation for Latvia, and there is exchange taking account experience of Lithuania and support of Lithuanian border guards as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned this tunnel. I mean, this is something also not just for Latvia, but also the Lithuanians had something similar not that long ago. And I think both prime ministers showed their concern. In fact, also the Latvian president, I think Mr. Rinkevich, said a few days ago at that border crossing somewhere, the border fence, that there's actually a staff shortage, and that's undermining security. So how much of a problem is this? I mean, is there enough will, but what about the capabilities? What's needed here? Is it Frontex? Is it more personnel? How do we fix it?
We are already received some, as I told, border guards from Lithuania as a supportive team because this is not enough, of course, border guards in Latvia. So there are several reasons why it's so, but I'm not going to elaborate it. But recently we also had a joint operation on this Latvian border with Belarus against those migrants. Together with the Ministry of Defense. So it means also with military, it was to catch more those migrants who managed to get through the border. So, and it was pretty successful. It was just was operation in just a few days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking also of operations, I believe something launched around the 10th or 11th of August, Operation Werewolf by Latvian authorities, this coordination, already I think some successes there. Tell us a bit about this and out further also this cooperation and deterrence. I mean, we're also looking at shutting down, I think, those criminal gangs or support of that infrastructure that's also contained within Latvia and other countries. How successful and how long will it take for these different operations to show more success?
Well, it's difficult to say, and I think it's an important issue, which is currently also during the vacations, which is in the European Parliament and other institutions. We are coming back to work next week. But during the summer, there was a Commissioner Brunner, actually. He was made the pressure to a responsible committee in the European Parliament, Committee of Liberties, which holding for years actually the criminalization regulation of, which was submitted by the Commission and also working with the Council to create a more European-wide criminalization rights against those who are organizing those movement of migrants, so for different reasons. So. And this is, I think, it's a key issue. As soon as we are back in Brussels for work, I think we have to go ahead on the Parliament side and to finalize this issue as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was also going to be a question because at the same. Yeah. It's a European issue, as you said. I mean, this is NATO's eastern flank. I mean, Latvia and Lithuania can do what they can on their frontier, but it is the EU's external border. So I'm just wondering, do you foresee in the European Parliament or the Commission providing more assistance? Is there more resources needed at this point in time?
Well, with the Frontex, we had always some kind of representation on Latvian external border with Russia and Belarus and some Frontex. Latvian border guards leadership can apply for additional Frontex stuff, but I think it's not a solution. I think in general, Frontex cannot replace national border guard issues. Lack of the border guards. So that's why we have to do it mainly with some support of Frontex, but not to replace lack of the border guards in Latvia. It's our task to increase the number of those, or to cooperate with military, as we discussed just a few minutes ago on some joint operations against this illegal hybrid war elements.
Yeah, and also speaking of hybrid, let's look at the bigger picture as well. Also to a neighbor, what happened in Estonia recently? There was that apparent at Milrem Robotics, a defense contractor. Now we have apparently 3 Latvians who were arrested just I think within the last sort of 2 days or so. How worried should Europeans be? How much is the problem here if citizens, local citizens, can be recruited for this kind of work, and how do we guard against that?
Well, it's already not the first case. There is this case what you described. It's just came also in news here in Latvia after arrest of those 3 persons, Latvians, actually, not Latvians, but Latvian citizens, as we understand from this information coming from investigators. We had already situations when we catch some Latvian people who are residing in Latvia, which throws fire in the Museum of Occupation and things like that, which was already judged by the court. And those suspects and now already judged persons who are guilty for that, they were engaged by different platforms, so Telegram and others, through the Russian forces, and this is going on. So this will continue definitely. And currently we have also experience from the security point of view very dangerous case when the road safety agency, which keeping all the data, 1,200,000 people are connecting with the payments for the technical checks on the cars and things like that. All this data was hacked by, we guess, of course, it could be related with Russian intelligence things. So, and it's very dangerous. All this leadership of this agency authority in Latvia, they resigned immediately. It was big pressure from president and prime minister. So, but of course, we don't know yet all the damage which was done on this cyber attack against this agency, and hacking so many the data, including which is not only about the politicians or some others, but also from the military, from national guards, and things like that, which, as we know, could be used with artificial intelligence in a pretty unclear situations. But it's really not a nice case. So it can happen in any country who are Russia's enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think also at the same time, if we look at where a lot of these incidents are happening, we're looking at NATO's eastern flank. I mean, also the proximity you have to Russia there, to Belarus. I mean, this also makes these countries prime targets. At the same time, I'm just curious about what kind of impact that's having on the population in terms of the public. I mean, is there more of a resilience culture? Is there fear? Is there some kind of, what's the reaction there on the ground? How do ordinary Latvians, and if you can speak to the wider region, react to all this?
Of course, people are worried with this recent cyber attack, as I described, because it's touched everybody almost in Latvia. So that's but at the same time, I'd like to say that currently all the responsible leadership is trying to calm down the public. So, but of course, asking them to change some even personal those security codes from the personality and things like that. So, but of course, it can create some uncertainty, which was, of course, aim of our neighbor Russia, I think, and the same like fire in the storages of what was it we discussed again a few minutes ago, or anything what can disturb the society. And taking into account Latvia and Estonia as well, we have a pretty big minority of Russian-speaking people, particularly in eastern part of closer to borders, but also in capitals in both countries. That's why I think this is aim and it will continue. Did they succeed already now, or they will succeed in future? If we managed pretty okay on those crisis situations. I think they will not succeed. But they will try, definitely, with a different kind of means. And of course, we cannot exclude also some false flag operations, for example, with Ukrainian drones, who are sometimes landing also on Latvian territory. And recently we had aircrafts who shut down one of these drones in Latvian territory in eastern part. And we cannot exclude that there could be some attempts to make false flag operations. So let's say like some drones are flying from Latvia to Russia. What is the aim of situations it will happen from this? It's not a big secret. I think it's to split the NATO and EU members, that saying, look, why Latvia, some of them can say that why Latvia is how to say, challenging Russia, so, which of course is not the case. So that we have to be ready for many things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, including being ready for many things. I mean, unfortunately, see a lot of these incidents happen quite frequently. And I also just want to ask you about what we've seen in Romania on Thursday, just this yesterday, in terms of that they actually shot down another maritime drone, which was approaching a gas facility, quite significant there. So I'm just wondering, an incident like that, also the president of Romania, Neptun, has said that he condemns this attack. He said it's very much pointing its direction to Russia. I mean, is this, again, probing by Russia? Again, we see these incidents. Is it increasing? And what's the response right now of the EU, of NATO? Do you think it's sufficient? I mean, what point and how do we react to all these kind of incidents?
Well, I'm a politician, not a military expert, and so I would be glad if it would be more clear signals that NATO and EU will stay united and reacted accordingly. Plans what they has to have actually on situations like that if it will increase, and to not always thinking just to. To think about the offensive of this. We have to also think that we can be more stronger on symmetric response to Russia, but not to doing the same things, but some others. So, including, for example, to increase the sanctions, because 20 sanction package, which was approved in summer, it was too weak, to my opinion. For example, with oil, Shadow fleet for response still working with Russian oil and things like that. So to be very much stronger and to keep EU and NATO united on those operations. So how we have to react, because Russia have to understand that it would be reaction will be very strong. So, and one of the instruments, of course, is sanctions, but real sanctions, stronger sanctions than it is now on the last package, but also some other response. So, and it's the only way how Russia can understand strengths, as we know. So no other arguments they take in account.
Yeah, and it's interesting, those stronger sanctions, I mean, we'll likely see that. I mean, that was a proposal by the EU's chief diplomat, Kaja Kallas, about that she wants even stronger ones, maybe even monthly sanctions. We'll see what that looks like into September and October. But look, thanks for that. We'll have to close it there today. Really appreciate insights there. Robert Zīle there, Vice President of the European Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for watching World Talks, but do stay right here on TVP World for more. Goodbye.